It is another warm day in the Treasure Valley of Idaho, and supposed to cool off tomorrow after pretty heavy duty heat for a while. Um, how about wherever you're at in the world, put something into the notes at some point in the chat for the webinar. This is our Thursday Talk with Wayne session, and we're going to just hopefully find some topics that you guys want to discuss. I have some that we'll talk about if you don't bring some up, and we'll have some fun. Alicia says she's in Tabernacle, New Jersey today. She gets around. I'm glad to see she's in somewhere a little different. It seems like every week. I wonder if these note takers, these otters, would ever tell us where they're at. And they also bug out early. They will bail at about 40 minutes into the session, but they're here to start. A fun week for me, doing things related to, again, this sort of favorite topic right now, which is AI. And Mark and I have been working on, again, some projects, not really, chat GPT oriented, but truly AI to help our lives, help make the planet better, help do things that we couldn't do otherwise, and have some results that are pretty exciting. We're still very strong believer in a couple of different platforms. One of them called Deal.ai that also has an associated company or site called Famous.ai. Both of those owned by the same people. Famous.ai is just a sub app within the Deal AI family. ChatGPT announced, or OpenAI, sorry, announced this week that they're going to come out with 5.0, the new ChatGPT in the next short period of time. And I don't know what that will be. I assume it'll mean their data is more recently up to date. And is not just current as of, I think, October of 24 is what they'll say right now. We've built some things that maybe we'll show you a little bit of today. We're still in the development stages of most of them, but there is one that's actually already on the EAT platform. I guess Alicia has raised her hand. Alicia, we will put you on and let you speak. Make sure you don't have a bunch of background noise. And last time, if you remember, it was kind of a mess and just sort of didn't sound well. So, Mark, if you want to unmute Alicia,
All right.
and then make sure that if you come in, Alicia, that you don't have a lot of stuff going on in the background.
Yeah, she's on.
Okay, well, I see her still. She still must be muted on her end, but she can unmute herself if she'd like. I'll just pause here for a second. Mark, get queued up in the background where you can show us what you're working on with Deal AI, with the app to take and make small clips
Okay.
out of a long video, something that you would just get from from YouTube or TikTok or other just readily available sources. And then also pull up what we've done by putting a journaling app that we're calling Life Journal on the Eat platform that is now available there. And it's something that you can get to. It's actually the last item on the table of contents for Eat. And we wanted to show that today anyway. We haven't done that in a while. And I really don't think most of our members, most of you that come here are really active, very cool folks that probably know this, but most of our members don't have any idea how much content that is free that we have for them. So go ahead and cue any of that up. If we don't end up getting a lot of cool topics from the audience and things to discuss, I'm going to talk about indoor regenerative type farming a little bit today, and specifically about a project in Los Angeles area in California called Transparent Sea. That's SEA, so Transparent Sea. They are a shrimp farm in an old warehouse that was abandoned when they took it over in 2020. And they're actually growing out of it now and getting large enough that they're going to go into a new facility. And they're doing that move right now. And they'll be producing from the new facility late in 2025. A couple of guys that'll have a story we're going to show a little bit of. We'll show you what they're doing. Might show some images and talk a little bit about what is called the world's tallest indoor agriculture facility in the world, which is in China, where it's over 10 stories in height and is producing 10 crops of lettuce a year, which means it'd be one every 5 weeks. If it's doing, am I getting that math right? That's actually going to be 5. Yeah, no, that's right. One every 5 weeks would be 10 a year. And taking some time for downtime in between each, a day or two, maybe, probably means that it's a shorter growth time than a month or 5 weeks. So probably in the range of a month instead of 5 weeks. So they're not very open about that technology, and there are images that are not very good, but we'll see if we look at a couple of those. And then lastly, again, if you don't have other topics from the audience, we'll talk about the use of AI in indoor agriculture, regenerative indoor agriculture. And I'll go ahead and already just give you a little preview there. Probably the broad areas in which it's being used more than any are feeding, which is very time consuming. And so it's automated. It's robots that are used to be doing feeding, mixing up the right amounts of feeds for the production. And the second area it's being used the most is for weed management. And by the way, Alicia just put a note in the chat about restoring ecosystems. That's not what we're talking about today. It's a different kind of regenerative agriculture. This is where in big urban areas, there aren't any soil areas available. And if you're going to have local food production, it's going to have to be indoors. Warehouses, large office buildings converted into food production if they're empty or mostly empty. All that kind of thing. So a little different. Not saying that the urban that the topic, and you're always very interested, and we've talked a lot more about the outdoor types of things than we ever have, the indoor. And then maybe we'll have time, and if we don't get to it this week, we'll try to get to it next week. There's a very inexpensive system that a college group has put together that is basically what we would call backyard aquaculture. So something you can do in a very small space, also indoors. So a basement, a garage, a room in a house, in a dwelling unit, in a barn, in lots of options. Notice I haven't used the word greenhouse, and not that greenhouses couldn't be used. Um, but honestly, people don't have them, so you'd have to build a greenhouse separately. In many places in the world, there's times of the year because of temperatures, because of sun circumstances, in some places in a canyon, like we have for our Riggins Hot Springs location, where in the winter we don't get any sun at all during the day. It's not like it's dark because there is sun, but the canyon stops it. And so the greenhouses are not going to be as efficient. And you know that I have a bias. I've said this for a long time that a warehouse is probably always going to be, from an economics perspective, more efficient for growing indoor agriculture crops because than a greenhouse would be, just because of temperature reasons. And light is inexpensive today using LED systems. So you don't have to have sunlight. There is great benefits to natural sunlight that you wouldn't have with artificial LEDs, but still those benefits are probably outweighed sometimes by temperature considerations, both too high temperatures and too low temperatures. So we're becoming big advocates of using a combination of cold water, naturally available flow through from streams, rivers, and with hot springs, which in maybe thousands of places throughout the United States are completely unused or underutilized. So different topic. We won't talk about that one today. So let's start with what Mark is going to show us, some things we've been doing recently. Cue up, Mark, and show us what you're doing with what we've done and what you're doing with a couple of these apps, the Life Journal and
Okay.
the clips. That once we get it done, it's going to be free. It's going to be available for all of you.
Yeah, so right now, this is what the app looks like. I'll show you show you from the homepage. So, uh, Steels.ai, this is where they show all their apps, and the one I'm working on is here. It's a short clip maker, and
Did you?
this
So we came up with a different logo yesterday, but is that one it chose, or did you come up with that one? Because the one we had named that we had put together didn't seem to fit, right?
yes, yes, haven't put it in yet, but I have to resize and then
Okay,
I'll try again.
okay.
But I've changed the look a little bit, so it looks a little different now. Uh, Simplified it, so just one click and I can upload videos. Uh, so I can just pick one, then select.
So Mark, let's back up. All you did was pointed at that video and clicked on it? Is that so you'd go to YouTube or other source and do that? How did you get that? Tell people that. Because it looked like all you did was is pointed at it and clicked.
Yeah, right now just I have just one option, but out later on I can add URL, so I can add YouTube or Facebook or any source. So for simplification, I just have now one input. So just upload
And so
file.
that was a file that you had saved on your machine, or it could be saved in the cloud, correct? So you,
Yes,
because
I can choose.
because I was trying to figure out, I went and was just trying to use this earlier today, but,
Mhm.
and was wanting to put a YouTube video in, but you really can't do that because that's sending you to a URL where this is actually
A
pointing at an
file, yes.
MP4 that you've saved it as, correct?
Yes. So this is just a MP4 file. Right now I'm selecting,
Okay.
but I will put that later on when I work more with it. The selected output format, and then we'll take 100 seconds.
Does it
And
does it really take that long? It says that it does, but I found it goes a little faster,
yeah,
speeds it kind of. While it's working here, oh, what did you do? Is it already done?
yes, it's done.
So that didn't take 100 seconds. Okay,
Yeah.
so
So let's see what it's doing. You please upload. Uh, Looks like it didn't get it, but send. I'll try again. See what happens. Yeah, so this is uh still in development.
yeah,
Uh,
everybody, but this would be something almost impossible to do for less than tens of thousands of dollars before AI, before the
yeah,
ability to use these tools.
and spend a lot of time, making short videos. So we're making like 6, 7 videos from one long video, then
Well,
posting it.
we are using another program, and
Yes.
maybe show everybody that when we're
Yeah, I'll
done.
show that.
And it's
Uh,
expensive. It's not, we have to pay for it. So we have a subscription to it.
yes, I'm actually copying this Opus.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
called
it's oh,
Opus Clips,
yes,
not free, and there's not, you can get just a little trial version that's free, but won't do a heck of a lot. And it does a very nice job. It's not,
yeah, yeah. This is actually very sophisticated software, Opus Clip.
yeah, listen, it says 10 viral clips. Mark gets 40 out of some of our videos.
Yeah, yeah. When I'm done, it's going to look like almost like this. I hope. That's what I'm going for. So so what it does is makes 40 clips, uh, and then all the options to post it or
And
even
it'll automatically post it if you want it to.
yes, automatically choose and also schedule when you want to, like you can schedule ahead of time. Uh, and see this title and description, they're all automated. And destination selected, all I gotta do is publish. And I could even select time and date when I want. So this is what I'm going for, but uh, it's going to take a lot more work to get it to do. So with this.
Looks like this time it's actually doing it. It did take the full amount of, more than 90
more
seconds.
time.
Right.
Right. Yeah, and it will be available for our EAT members for free once we're done. So well, while it's doing it, we can show the other one. So
Yeah, this is our
other one,
but yeah,
and
and actually that's not the way it looks
on
inside inside your website. You should probably go to that one, Mark.
yeah,
That's
that
actually
one,
that's not even working. So there's
yeah,
some
still gotta gotta work on this. But this is what let me refresh this and yeah, we'll have like the same thing put on this page. So it's going to look like this and have your life entry. So
There we
and,
go. So
yeah,
show them all the different things they can enter about themselves. I've got to just quickly jump. I'm hearing something going on.
okay.
I don't have Deb with me today. She went back to the
Oh,
National Art meeting back on the East Coast. And I think
okay,
there's something going on with my dogs that I
right.
want to just check. But show them all the little different things that they can do on this. And
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
you can add other things too. So
right. Yeah, yeah. We're developing this one. It'll be on it free pretty soon. You'll be able to use this. This is for using every day, whatever you do. So first you see your your physical activity. So what you do, your exercise, and then your energy level, how many hours you sleep. And you can enter with microphone. So you can just talk into this and it will record it. Then come to your activities or put on the weather. What is the weather like? Sunny, cloudy. So I'll put like sunny here and also use the microphone and just tell it what the weather is. Um, yeah,
uh,
it will record everything I say.
and you
And
can go
then
back and you can go back and edit that with your cursor, but with your
yeah,
writing. So
exactly. Weather is in India? No, in uh, Bangladesh, right? So anyway, uh,
show them where that's at, where they find it on their site.
on the side, yeah, yeah, it's on the side. You can, I'll go to Eat Free
And that
Community.
that that logo, and I had 10 of them that to choose from. Actually, I had 20,
Hmm.
was generated by AI.
Yep.
So
So,
this is the table of contents. We're going to change this, by the way, everybody. This has
right.
been with us for almost since we started, so almost 9 years.
So we
And
changed once. I think we changed once, went from the other one, Encore or
yeah, and we're gonna go to
Prosper.
one. Do you still have the one loaded for that dog site, Mark? 'Cause so we can show kind of what we're gonna look like when we get it changed. There's too many steps you have to go through, we think right now, to get to what you want to watch. You have
Yeah.
to click
the-
too many places.
So this is the life journal on it. So it's the last category. And then you go into this.
Yep, and there it is.
There
Same
it is.
thing.
But it's a load problem
I
here.
wonder what the loading is there, Mark. Why is that? That was just
Yeah, it could be my browser problem, maybe. I don't know.
because I've
Uh,
I've been putting entries in. It's working just fine on
okay,
my
so it's
machine.
maybe a browser issue on my end. But anyway, it's going to look like let's see.
There's a little bit
Preview.
of the code, everybody, that we used to create it.
Yeah, I went to the code, but this is the preview. This is what you'll
And you
see.
can also then look at your history and
Yeah.
see if you everything you put in
History,
for
yes.
in the past. So that right now it hasn't loaded any. So,
Yep.
but
Yep. And all the other
it's all
activities are,
and it's all private. It's not shared with us. It's not shared with anybody but you. You would only be able to get through it by your login. So you don't want to have other people be using your login, or they're going to get putting things on your journal, and
yep.
seeing things you put in.
Right. And the other day, Wayne was talking about like how many people do this. And it's really important that you keep a track of all your activities, all your health, and then keep a journal of what you do, your plans. So this, everyone should do this. So I find this very useful. Like you can add your photos in here, upload photos, take your photo, take voice recording. Just quickly, you can use it on your phone. Just quickly take photos, upload them, keep it here. You don't need to go to Facebook, don't need to go to anywhere else. Just keep it here. Um, so this is what uh, I recommend everybody use this in their daily
Let's see
lives.
if it got your deal AI got processed, Mark.
Okay. All right.
It
So
says an error occurred over on the right. So
yes, yeah, this is some glitches that I will work on, and I'll get it to work. I hope soon. So yeah, once I'm done, you'll you'll see it'll be like this. So going for that.
sounds good. All right. Well, so those are just some things that we're working on that we think you guys could even be doing yourself if you'd like. Um, Opus is off the charts cool. Show real quickly, show one that some of these you just can't predict them. Mark will
Yes.
put several from the same video. Again, these are all sessions you guys have access to. These are all our webinars that we did at some point in
Yeah.
time. But one video out of a whole bunch of these that he will have published will just will go viral. And I'm
Yep.
talking, for us at least, big time viral. It'll everything else will get 1 to 10 views, and what the one that goes viral will get
1,000.
1,000 views. So
Yes. Yeah, one I got 1,000 for is like eating squirrels. The people like that. Eating
oh yeah,
squirrels.
eating squirrels, right. The eating squirrels was a good one.
Yeah. So eating squirrel. Yeah, this was the webinar with our
This was
Ohio
just
team.
last week, everybody. So
Yes.
week ago. Let's see if
Right.
what it did. It was Mark. Look at this. Go to the stats now and see whether it just show them how it went crazy to where.
Yeah.
Actually, show the video. Make sure that you get the sound when you play.
Okay. So let me know if the sound is playing.
No.
Is
So
the
yeah,
sound playing?
no. You need to turn
No.
it on.
Okay. I gotta share sound. I'll share again. Okay. Let's see. Try again.
So
It's very, very light. It's very light.
Is it playing now?
yes. So start
Okay.
over.
I,
Yeah.
I would never think of it as like a meal. It's always like a snack. Like I had 3 squirrels at once with beans, and that was a great meal. Skinning them is really easy. You just gut them and peel the skin off. You just chop the tail right off and slit it open. I put salt on it, and I have all my squirrel tails still. I just put it in a pot and boil them, and then you eat it just like little chicken wings. So yeah.
Cool.
See, Opus
I,
did a really good job of
I can
editing.
see why that went viral. That is very
Yes. And and it's kind of shocking for people. So
yeah.
um and see it's got like 1,045 views just one day. Um so
If you saw the curve for that, you'd see that it went from just nothing up to
yes.
1,000 views in one day. All right.
Okay.
Well, those are things we're up to. So now I'm going to share my screen. Mark, if you'd give it to me. And
Yep, I stopped mine.
and again, if you guys have thoughts and questions, put them in here. I'm just upset at these otters that they don't give us any questions. I'm not, I don't mean that. It's just that they don't. So I'm going to share mine. Wait a minute. Is it share? It's not sharing mine yet, is it?
No, I don't see your.
Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. I went to the wrong one. Okay. All right. You should see a YouTube video here, and I'm going to play a little bit of this. Maybe, I'll actually play a little and then I'll stop. This is about this farm in Los Angeles, Downey, which is a suburb of LA, called Transparent Sea is the name of the company, and it's their urban shrimp farm. And again, Mark, what do you have to do to make sure that it shows the volume?
Oh, okay. So when you share, you need to check on the zoom boxes where it says share audio, and then it will say optimize for videos. So you need to check both those boxes.
Okay, so I have to click on the share, make sure I say I'm in sharing. Where is it going to be audio, or what do I say share audio or what? Here we
Yeah,
go.
so it's going, like when you click on share, it's
Yes.
going to say optimize for video and share audio, two boxes.
Oh, I got it. Share sound.
Yeah.
Optimize. I didn't even know that. I've never clicked on the optimize, but I guess
Yeah.
I did. All right, so now here's the screen. Maya's licking me behind me. I don't know that you guys saw that. One of my dogs. Anyway, here we go.
Measured by land area, is the third largest nation in the world. With its
This is a
large size
commercial,
and
yeah.
geographic variety, it includes most climate types. And it's one of 17 megadiverse countries, a term referring to the group of nations that harbor the majority of Earth's species. But while being blessed with such natural abundance, we've designed our economy around an ethic of materialism, thus resulting in cheaper labor, producing most.
There's a non-zero chance that what you're eating has some sort of pesticide.
Here, okay.
Over 94%.
This works for some of our everyday items. But does this model really make sense for the food we eat? And are we even aware of just how disconnected we've become?
I mean, think about this number. We import over 94% of our seafood. Similar number of our shrimp are imported. Of the 2.2 and growing billion pounds imported every year, the FDA inspects less than 1%. There's a non-zero chance that what you're eating has some sort of pesticide or antibiotic or hormone or other banned substance. We should have the right to know exactly what's in our food.
This is my good friend Steve. He's built an urban shrimp farm in Downey, California. A little over a year ago, we were standing in an abandoned auto parts shop. Today we tell his story. It's one of perseverance, positive change, and a way to do business that is quite literally fresh and forward-thinking. This is a story about doing things better. And as with most good stories, it's probably best we start at the beginning.
I mean, we're guessing that the world wants what we want at the same time that we want it. And if we're wrong, we won't be shooting video here in a year. But ultimately,
cut that out.
You see it, Ray? Welcome back to the farm.
Third time's a charm, right?
Yeah.
4 times.
So what are we gonna do today?
So we're gonna do a tour of the updated farm with all the systems, and I mean, it's a fully functioning farm now, right?
Yeah, you're gonna like it. It's a lot different than last time you were here.
How was that? 2 years ago was the first time we did the video?
It could have been more than a year and a half. A year and a half ago, this was a junkyard.
The facility is located in Downey, California. a city about 12 miles southeast of downtown Los Angeles. Before Steve got here, it was an abandoned auto parts shop. And before that, well, the history gets a little more colorful.
The first aircraft factory to install a powered mechanized assembly line. The Vultee plant, Downey, California.
Steve's decision to put a shrimp farm smack dab in the middle of LA County was partly motivated by the fact that it's a bit of a foodie destination, with revered chefs and top-rated restaurants within a stone's throw. The other part of it was to bring awareness to the fact that a farm can successfully be implanted in a densely populated urban area and used as a platform to educate. What's crazy is that even in a state like California, with 840 miles of coastline, we import 90% of our shrimp. And most simply aren't aware of just how problematic the shrimping industry has become, both in terms of the environmental impact and its effects on human health. More on that later. Well, in 2020 we were standing in a junkyard, and now heading into 2022, it's a fully functioning shrimp farm capable of producing 1,500 pounds of fresh shrimp per week.
The first time you were here, we just had one tank, and we kind of used that tank to show people that you can grow shrimp indoors in Downey. And then, kind of raise more money, continued through the permitting process, and then got everything built and permitted. And really, we've been fully running our second system, which we're excited to show you, by like September. I think we turned it on in September. So we're just harvesting our first batch from our clear water system. And that's a system that we feel is really going to change the game for shrimp farming. Yeah, so this is the nursery area. These are separate systems, and this is where they come in around 17 days old, and they spend the next month of their lives in one of these two tanks. So we can hold about 100,000 shrimp in each tank. We grow them to about 1 gram in 4 weeks, and then they go on into the grow out system. We make sure we give them a little bit higher protein content feeds. We make sure they're tested for bacteria and viral pathogens that could be problematic. So we kind of use this as a nursery and a quarantine at the same time. Yeah, so this is our clear water system, and these are all the production tanks, and we'll work our way down towards the filtration. So there's two technologies that are commonly used in shrimp farming, and we use both here. I should say modern shrimp farming. Prior to that, there was no real technology. It was kind of flooding areas and then figuring it out. This system on the right was built to grow them when they're younger, and that sort of simulates the mangrove environment they're in when they're younger in the wild.
So a few important details were talked about off camera, and I'd be remiss not to mention them here. One is that Steve spent some time in Thailand prior to Transparency building out a shrimp farm and has intimate knowledge of the local practices. One thing Steve shared with me was just how critical of a resource mangroves are. They serve as a key habitat and essentially a nursery for small shrimp, fish, and other sea life. And we've lost over half of the world's mangroves over the past 40 to 45 years. It's estimated that half of that loss is due to fish and shrimp farming. Certainly makes you think, what if there was a better way? Okay, back to the tour.
It's lower technology, lower capital to get it running, but also has some limitations because you don't control as much in that system, and the water is that kind of brownish, murky color. Totally healthy, totally good product, but we wanted to take it to the next level and go to the clear water technology. So this is the grow out area. So this is where the shrimp come after they leave the nursery. They come here and spend about 2 months kind of growing up. So watch the condensation here as we get in the winter time.
I already got dirty from the hose. So
it's all right. Well, that's clean, recycled, but clean filtered water.
So you can see all the, so this is a lot different. The last time it was, when I saw the water, it was a darker brown color.
Yeah, I mean, the world of clear water farming, and again, look, the water is a clear with a little hint of green, sort of. The world of clear water farming allows us to do a lot of things. And it's a different looking product when you take them out of the water. They often are a little more blue. These guys are actually on the browner side due to the genetics, but of the 8 tanks on the farm, this is the only one that has like a hint of brown. For example, they mostly want to orient into the current. So the current is pushing one way, and they're mostly facing that way.
Oh, yeah.
When they get hungry, they may start to sort of graze the walls more or pick at each other. There's signs, but the clear water allows us to put cameras in the water to observe their behavior, and once we teach a computer to learn what that behavior looks like, you have thousands of hours of video of shrimp when they're hungry, when they're not hungry, when they're eating. We can use that video to automate feeders that then distribute feed based on video feedback. So you lay out a little more money up front on the capital end, but to maintain your farm, and most importantly, to farm shrimp most effectively, not be overfeeding, not be underfeeding, we can now do that, whereas the industry doesn't really have that opportunity. So we take a look at some if you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, these guys are almost ready for harvest starting next week. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of the first signs of health. They're very, very jumpy, these guys. So there's a few factors on the blue. If you look really close, they have these blue chromatophores here. So like a squid or an octopus, they have like these blue dots basically. And even the ones that don't look blue, you know, that guy looks brown from a distance. If you look up close, they all have these blue dots. So these are Mexican white-leg prawn. They're a close cousin of a Mexican blue prawn. So like I said, with the clear water being kind of a game changer, the environment here allows them to pigment to the black liner, and the clear water makes them think, I need to be dark colored. The best they can do, you know, they can't turn purple. The best they can do is a dark blue. So on the whole, of these 8 tanks, almost all of them are blue. For whatever reason, the genetics in this tank are strongly brown.
And it's super warm, like when you kind of put just in the air above, it's kind of thick and warm. Is that kind of like their natural habitat, is more warm?
This type of prawn lives at a range from as low as 65 degrees up to 92, 93 degrees. But we find a sweet spot where they grow really well, but not too well that their metabolism is a little extra elevated. So we're growing them around 86 degrees Fahrenheit. So we heat the water and maintain it at 86. We don't heat the air, but we use this greenhouse plastic to trap the moisture, so we reduce our water loss, and also to retain the heat.
Makes sense.
So the summertime, we have no heating bill here in Southern California, and in the winter time, we have a heating bill, but we try to keep it reduced as possible by keeping the windows closed. This is all on this side of the building is what we call biofloc farming that I talked about, where it's much simpler. The water is kind of a brown color, and this is the reservoir for that system. This side of the building is all dedicated towards the Clearwater system. So this is our last production tank here that's full of shrimp growing. I think as I showed you, each tank has a different age shrimp in it so that we can bring shrimp to market every week of the year. Now starts the filtration section. So this here is for example, our biological filter, or physical filters on the other side, and this is a degassing area up here.
Okay. This is where this is the whole pumping.
There's not a single shrimp in any part of these tanks. This is all dedicated to filtration and making sure we can recapture as much of the water as possible.
So it's the brains of the operation.
Yeah, this is the brains of it. That's the money maker down there, is where we grow the animals. But if anything goes wrong over here, you can forget about that. You guys can come down here and check out the pumping area. What I tell people is it's basically like we created a wastewater treatment facility for shrimp. You know, compared to most industrial processes, and certainly shrimp farming, we're using
There's very little waste.
10 to 100 times less water than anybody else. So now that we've done the tour, are you guys hungry?
You know it. Let's go.
Let's go get some shrimp. Prawns.
Prawn.
I say shrimp. The industry says shrimp, but technically they're prawns.
Prawn. Okay.
Yeah, so now that we've harvested our shrimp into a bucket, in this case it's a small bucket, usually it's a big old tote with ice slurry, we'll take them into the processing room. So this is where the animal goes from an animal on the farm to a product for consumption. Yeah, so I'm gonna put some gloves on and grab a plate and a knife, some soy sauce, and this will be the raw sushi moment. Because the industry is used to shrimp that are mistreated. So the average shrimp is 3 to 6 months frozen before it gets to you. Even on the farms, I mean, these farms are in tropical areas, outdoor, you know, usually former mangroves. So they're miles and miles spread. So you're talking about places too where there's usually not a lot of money. So you're harvesting in 80, 90 degree weather into a truck that might be miles from a farm, from the processing area. We're harvesting directly into ice. We're harvesting a product that there's been no reason to add algicide or pesticide or antibiotics or hormones. There's just no reason for it because we know what's going on. So it's all about control. So yeah, this product's been dead for minutes. It's going to be a different texture than it would be in a day or 2 days. So even that in of itself is kind of cool because it's a unique experience that you can get here that you don't get really anywhere else with a similar prawn. California spot prawns are actually a shrimp, but they're a beautiful, natural wild animal that they do eat raw. This is kind of the first in the game where you could eat it raw. So this guy's about, I'd say 16 or 17 of these make a pound, about an ounce. The heads I always keep to make a stock or something, because that's where all the flavor is. So that the head is actually the body, and that contains the organs, and that's where the fats are. That's where, in shrimp farming where you don't know what's gone on, that's where all the bad stuff also accumulates. So most of the industry, you take the head off, preserves the shrimp longer, and hopefully you don't get as many of those fat-soluble heavy metals or toxins. But for us, this is actually like a flavor nugget that you want to use to make a soup or something.
Got it.
When I'm cooking these, I try to cook them whole because I want that flavor from the head to kind of seep in. Yeah, I mean, I think the bar is set pretty low for the quality of shrimp.
It's customary to cheers. All right. Wow. It's like good sushi.
Yeah.
So I'll admit it, I was a little skeptical to try raw shrimp, and I think this is reasonable considering the type of shrimp I'm used to eating. This point was touched upon earlier, but of the 2.2 billion pounds of shrimp imported every year, less than 1% is inspected. Given the questionable practices of producers overseas, there's a probably decent chance that what we've been eating has pesticides or hormones or other banned substances. Not to mention the fact that most of the shrimp we buy in the grocery store has been frozen for 3 to 6 months and frozen and thawed.
All right, I'm going to stop it there because we're running out of time, but also want to get some other questions. And then that was really pretty much all of it. There is a shrimp course on the EAT site. I am a shrimp farmer, and I don't know whether these guys would acknowledge or even whether they did research to find that we did what they're doing 15 years ago, 15 years ago, in tanks and greenhouses in Loveland, Colorado. And we were growing Pacific Marine white shrimp. And those shrimp need salt in the water because that's where they live naturally. And these prawns, which are freshwater, and so they aren't using any kind of water, any kind of salt. At the very end there's a couple of interesting things that they said when they were talking about eating them. And they're very accurate, and you may or may not have caught it. But if you buy a shrimp at the grocery store tonight, tomorrow, yesterday, it was very likely not only frozen for days before it was even shipped, it was very likely dead when it was harvested. And meaning that it was in one of those big ponds they were showing where the water was circulating. They had some aerial photos of them. They put big nets in and they drag those nets through and they pull up whatever they get. And the vast majority of the shrimp, if they're alive, are jumping out. And so what they end up with in the net are those that are dead. And so they're harvested dead. Well, who knows how long they've been dead. And as soon as an animal dies, it immediately begins to decompose. And there are bad things that happen to it. And as they said, the heads, and it's even taught that with prawns, which, by the way, crayfish are a prawn, they have big pincher claws, which means they'll kill each other in a culture situation like you're seeing. These prawns and the Pacific Marine white shrimp, if you notice, didn't have any of the big upfront clause, so they won't cannibalize each other in a population in a tank. And anyway, when you eat them, the especially down in the South, they say you should suck the heads because that's where the taste comes from, and it is. Unfortunately, though, some of that taste is coming from toxic chemicals, especially in those that are grown overseas. It's very likely you're poisoning yourself when you're eating shrimp that you buy in a store. Very, very likely. So would highly recommend not to do that. We have a siren going on in the background at my house, which is interesting. It sounds like it's a ways away. It's not right here local, but it is. Do you guys hear that? Do you hear it, Mark?
No, we don't hear it. But is it a fire truck or something?
I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
I hope it's not some tornado siren. It's perfectly clear out. It's beautiful, but so I don't know what, and it's gone. It just ended, whatever it was. And again, it was soft. It was not real close. But yes, it could be a siren on a ambulance or a police car or something. So could have been that. Do you get a lot of that in the city? You must probably a lot of siren sounds.
Yeah, I'm used to, yeah.
Anyway, that video, that sounds like a very cool operation. I don't know those people. I'm going to see if we can get to interview Steve or the other partner. Like I said, they've just moved to another facility. Also hear something going on in my house right here with the dogs. When I went out that one time and Mark was doing the stuff with the videos, they were sound asleep. So I was hearing something else. I don't know what it is. I haven't shared this, but I think last week, didn't we suffer from this, Mark? We've had air conditioning problems in our house in the middle of the summer.
Yes.
Good. And it got fixed for some reason. It just, I don't know why, but it sort of fixed itself. But then again, last night it stopped again. So it's 80 plus degrees right here in this room where I'm doing my studio, which is not that super uncomfortable, but it's warm enough that as soon as we're done, I'm going to leave for another part of the house where we have air conditioning, and move my computer that way, to be working on things. Anyway, it is 7 minutes before the top of the hour. What questions do people have? I saw several chat things here and just comments. I didn't see any questions here yet. Oh, here we go. There's some thoughts. It says climate change vulnerability assessment combines exposure, sensitivity, and adaptive capacity. Is this an AI? Something I didn't see the top of it here. Climate change resilience, the ability of social and ecological systems to absorb and adapt to shocks and stresses resulting from a changing climate while becoming better positioned to respond to the future. Climate change vulnerability, the extent at which people, I think it's just a definition that the viewer put up here. Yeah, it's nothing. It says thoughts. I think, however it's done, as long as the data's got accuracy, it's great. I don't know anything about this particular one. So again, I did say, and we haven't gotten to it, but that there's, I'm going to even show a little research that I did on Grok, which is one of the AI services that does take real-time data. So it's current as of today. So you could ask it about issues. So it would talk about the earthquakes in off the shore of Russia, the different tsunamis that were predicted in various different places. And frankly, they didn't happen. It was really positive. It was a good thing that the big waves that were expected didn't happen as seriously, but people were prepared, which was very cool. But again, I said it earlier, OpenAI would not have that that recent of information available. Alicia's talking about the downsides of AI is losing jobs. Yeah, again, AI is gonna make many jobs insignificant. The computers will be doing what people would have been doing. And there's certainly a social issue associated with that. Is that bad, good, or indifferent? I'm not going to make a judgment, but they are. It is absolutely going to happen. It is not just a maybe. It is going to happen. I was saying one of the big uses is for weeds, and some of the big companies. John Deere created a system that will use lasers to kill weeds in fields or indoors, to where they can point the laser that it'll identify a weed, which would be a crop, which would be a plant growing in a field or in an aquaculture system indoors, that was not what you were wanting to harvest, and that would take away nutrients from those crops you're trying to grow. So that's a weed, and it's an invasive, something that probably shouldn't be there. And it can, they have equipment that can be going across the top of the crop and pointing downwards, a laser beam that's 1/4 of a centimeter. So kind of smaller than what you're seeing with my fingers in size, that size, pinhole almost, that it's killing something. It identifies it, it points at the weed and not at the crop, and boom, it kills it right then. And then it's moving, so it's doing this very quickly as it goes across an area. And there's a robot probably driving the piece of equipment that this laser's on. That's going to reduce jobs, but it's going to increase food production efficiencies. It's going to do all kinds of favorable things. There is a positive and a negative, so we just understand that is the case. Well, 2 minutes here. Any thoughts or questions? Our robot otters are gone, as I'm assuming they left at about 40 minutes. I wonder if those people even watch whatever it is their robots get for them. I do. I actually I don't watch the whole video, but when I use Otter, and I do in meetings, I will go back and look at the summary that Otter gives me. So I have a window open in here, which I wouldn't normally, because it's hotter outside than I wanted in the room, but you can see those ribbons behind me blowing because the wind's blowing from out in front to back behind me. And it's a little windy outside, so I wish it was blowing in about 20-degree cooler air, but it is what it is. All right, it is just about top of the hour. I think we'll go ahead and call it for today. Let's just one last round and see if there's questions, comments. Alicia says goodbye. Thank you all. Thank you, Mark. And we will, let me see, got a couple more messages here. Alicia's putting bye and bye with an E and all kinds of things saying bye. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. And Mark, I'll talk to you maybe in the morning, not today still, but about some more things you're doing with
Okay.
Deal and other things in AI. Thank you, man.